Have started gathering in San Francisco this morning, and they have now blocked the intersection of 5th and Mission in San Francisco for the APEC summit. That's right outside the San Francisco Chronicle building. Right now, that is where all the delegates are walking into the APEC summit. It is happening right in front of them. KTVU's Ali Rasmus joins us live from San Francisco, from that scene, with much more on this developing story. Ali.
Andre, it was about an hour ago when protesters, about several hundred of them, came to this intersection, 5th and Mission, right outside the secure perimeter of the APEC summit, beyond where you see those black fences there. They blocked all traffic to this street, and as some of the delegates were coming by and attendees were coming by nearby hotels, some people in the crowd started booing and preventing and blocking those attendees from getting into the summit. So we've seen scenes like what you're seeing here right now several times, where there's people in suits, and they're easy to identify that they're here for APEC because they're the only ones wearing suits. And then you'll hear people booing as they get escorted through. So in the last half hour, there are more San Francisco police and riot gear that have just started to show up. We believe sometime in the next half hour or so, what usually happens in these situations, the police tell the protesters they have to move, they cannot block the street, they give them a couple of warnings, and then we see what goes from there. But there you see them along 5th and Mission. This is where we are, right next to the parking garage, the 5th and Mission parking garage. That's where you see some delegates getting escorted by police as they are jeered by the crowd. And over at this part of the intersection, some of the protesters have locked arms. Now, what are they protesting about? The group organizing this protest here this morning calls itself the No APEC Coalition, and they said that they're comprised of a group of hundreds of different organizations, local organizations, international organizations. The focus of today's protest is supposed to be the climate crisis. So you see some people with their protest signs against ExxonMobil. There's also a contingent here of people who are pro-Palestinian protesters who are calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war. So a number of different interests and different groups voicing their concerns. One thing they are all unified in, though, is that they don't like the APEC summit happening here. Groups say they believe that APEC is not transparent. They don't like and distrust some of the economic deals that are negotiated behind the scenes at APEC and at conferences and summits like this between governments and businesses. We know there's 21 leaders, world leaders here in town, including President Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping, all meeting here. And so that's why these organizations and these groups protesting say this is an opportunity to make their voices heard and get their point across. So again, we're kind of in a stalemate situation where the protesters have blocked off 5th and Mission to all vehicle traffic. They are trying to prevent some of the attendees to APEC coming through and entering the secure perimeter. And then again, just in the last half hour, 45 minutes or so, we've seen several dozen more San Francisco police and riot gear come out, and they are standing about half a block away from the protesters who have linked arms and are blocking the street. So we'll continue to keep an eye on the situation here, and we'll have another update for you in the next half hour of Mornings on 2. We'll send it back to you guys.